Finally, it's hitting the UK on the 9th of Feb, although at the moment the website says shipping on the 13th of Feb, so if you've ordered it you might have a little bit longer to wait. But we're going to do a full unboxing, setup and a bit of a hands-on review so you can see exactly what to expect when this bad boy launches itself at your doorstep. Right, let's see what we got. So let's just peel off the packaging. Get rid of all that. So as you can see, typical Apple box, a nice crisp white design, picture of the HomePod, obviously, picture of the Apple logo, again, obviously, and you can see it from above as well. If you, you can't wait to actually get inside that box and check it out for real. And here we go, it just lifts off nicely, toss that aside, and there is the HomePod in all of its glory. It comes in a couple of colours. You can get it in either white or space grey. This is obviously the space grey model. So basically black, as with the black iPhone. It's about as grey as space is, so fair enough. Is there anything else actually inside the box? Let's have a look. It says designed by Apple in California, sunny Cali. So you get a little booklety thing, which I'm guessing sort of shows you a little bit about setup, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, all that shenanigans. It's supposed to be super easy. In fact, we've seen it in action and it is super easy. So I'll talk you through all of that. And of course, a lovely little Apple sticker. Very nice. Cheers, guys. So I'll chuck all that away and we'll actually check out the speaker itself. So in terms of, in comparison with a lot of the smart speakers out there, it's sort of a good size. It's not too big. It's actually reasonably compact, especially considering the amount of sound that it puts out. Let's just peel this little sheath off the top. There is, of course, a little touch panel on top, which you can use to do the various controls, as well as using your voice with the Siri assistant. Let's just prise all this off as well so we can get it all hooked up and then we can test it out for real. Right, and it looks like the cable itself is it's a decent length. It's a good sort of couple of meters, 1.5 meters, 2 meters I would say. And there we have it. It is turned on and oh, it's doing a seductive little glow thing. I like that very much. Very nice. So now I'm guessing it's basically in pairing mode. So what you'll need is you'll need an iPhone, an iPad or even an iPod Touch. Oh, wow, there we go. That okay, calm down. And in order to set up your HomePod, you will need to make sure that your iPhone, iPad, whatever you've got, is set up to the latest version, which is 11.2.5, which I'm just updating my iPad to now. And as soon as that's updated, we'll be able to get the HomePod set up. So while we're waiting for that update to finish installing, we can just take a bit of a tour of the HomePod itself. It's pretty streamlined as far as the design's concerned. As you can see, it's 360 degrees of this lovely mesh fabric finish, which is available, as I said before, in either white or space grey. It should fit nicely into pretty much any home decor. No matter what your setup is, you can pick the colour that suits, and it's a pretty subtle design overall. Still loving that flashing glowing thing. God damn, that is nice. Down below, of course, you get this nice sort of rubber grip as well, nice rubber foot, so if you do happen to have it on a surface, you give it a bit of a knock, it shouldn't go skidding off or anything like that. And of course a bit of obligatory Apple logo branding at the bottom there too. So a nice simple design. It's pretty hefty, I have to say. It's 2.5 kilos in total, so you'll definitely feel it when you're lugging it all the way home from central London back to where I live, as I did just previously. But yeah, no, definitely that adds a nice bit of a premium feel to it as well. Right, we've now updated the iPads to the latest version of iOS, and as you can see, just positioning them right next to each other, they immediately detect each other, and it's ready to set up. So let's tap set up. Where is the HomePod? So I've already set up my home using Apple Home. So these are some of the various rooms you've got. So I'm going to stick it in the kitchen, I think. Continue. Personal request, use this HomePod to send and read messages, add reminders, create notes. You can do all that kind of stuff that you would ordinarily whiz out your phone to do. Whiz out your phone? Is that a verb? Now it is. But instead you can just do it on HomePod by requesting Siri do it straight through that. As you can see, just say, hey Siri, and they'll immediately start responding. And you can also touch and hold the top of the HomePod as well. I'll go through that touch panel in full. Agree to the terms and conditions, of course, as usual. Transfer all those settings over. I want to play this lovely little tune while it's busy setting it up. 5th gen.
Hi, I'm Siri. Welcome to HomePod. You can't tell, but I'm waving. To get my attention, say hey Siri. Let's try it. Say, hey Siri, what can you do?
Hey Siri, what can you do?
I can do lots of things, like turn on the lights, give you a news update, and tell you about the weather. Now you try. Say, "Hey Siri, play some music."
Hey Siri, play some music.
Okay, here's a personal radio station built just for you, starting with Bullet for my Valentine. Remember, anytime you have a question, just say "Hey Siri."
I will do, thank you Siri. And there you go, a bit of classic Bullet for my Valentine, nice. Bit of nostalgia for you. And as you can probably tell, the sound quality is pretty full on. So you could just knock down the volume a bit, so you can actually still hear me, always handy, or not, as the case may be. So as you see, you've got full volume controls here on the top, minus and plus, nice and easy. And you can also tap it in order to do various things. So a quick tap should pause, there we go, another tap to play again. There we go, double tap for the next track. And then if you touch and hold, then as you can see, Siri is just listening to you once again. Listen to every lovely little word that you say and will hopefully respond in turn. So of course the Apple HomePod isn't exactly cheap, 320 quid here in the UK, which makes it easily one of the more expensive smart speaker solutions on the market. Considering especially when the likes of the Amazon Echo, even the latest version, is less than £100. But what this really does to differentiate itself from the competition is the fact that it's got that really awesome sound quality. When you compare this side by side with the Amazon Echo, even with the likes of the new Sonos One, it really does shine. Absolutely incredible sound quality, especially when you boost the volume all the way up. So if you're going to be using your smart speaker to listen to a lot of music, then this is definitely a strong option. Of course, the one limitation of Apple's HomePod is the fact that you're really tightly tied into that Apple ecosystem. If you want to get a bit of music via Spotify, Deezer, any of these other streaming services, you can't do it through the Apple HomePod. You have to use iTunes, Apple Music, something like that. And of course, Apple Music is great. It's the same cost as Spotify Premium, and it gives you 45 million tracks. Basically everything we search for on there, it is on there, even weird alternative and indie stuff. Chances are you'll find it on Apple Music. But of course, if you're already tied into Spotify, you've already got a year's membership, something like that, or you just got it all nicely organised with all of your albums and everything, then you're going to have to migrate onto Apple Music if you want to stream them through the HomePod. And let's face it, it's that killer sound quality that really makes the HomePod stand out. So you're going to want to stream your music through it. In terms of the actual smart speaker capabilities as well, it's perfectly great. You've got Siri on there. She's getting a lot smarter these days with every update that passes. She's almost up there with Alexa, and she covers lots of stuff. Apple Home supports lots of smart home goodies, so you're going to be able to control a lot of stuff via that. And because it's got the 6 far-field mics in there, even when it's really noisy, she can still pick up your voice. Let's just boost up the music. I'll go stand at the other side of the room and we'll show you how good she is. Hey Siri, what's the weather like tomorrow?
Expect some clear skies in Orpington tomorrow. The high will be 4 degrees and the low will be -2.
Oh, sounds lovely. Already looking forward to that. So as you can see, music blasting. I was at the other side of the room, and still she picked up my voice absolutely clearly, worked out exactly what I was saying, not even bothered by my northern accent, which is always a good thing to have. So basically, from everything I've seen and heard of the HomePod so far, if you're tied into that Apple ecosystem and sound quality is what you're really after, then this seems to be the smart speaker to go for. If you've got that bit of extra cash to splash, it's definitely going to really pump out some awesome sound and music. And of course, you've already got ties into the likes of Apple Home, Apple Music, all that kind of stuff. So you're basically set. And later in the year, you'll be able to pair it up with another Apple HomePod if you're super minted and get a nice stereo sound. Or of course, a bit of AirPlay 2 will be coming as well. So that means you'll be able to stick them all over your home if you're super minted, and get that sort of free-flowing music all the way around your entire homestead. So that, in a nutshell, is the Apple HomePod. As I say, coming to the UK for £320 here. It launches on the 9th of Feb, although it might start shipping a couple of days after that, depending on supplies. And yeah, if you're tied in that whole Apple ecosystem with Apple Home, Apple Music and everything, basically you just be able to set it up nice and simple and get straight into it. If you're not tied into that Apple ecosystem, maybe think twice about it. 320 quid, it's not cheap, but it definitely offers decent value because it is a stupendous speaker. So you definitely won't have to, as you are with some of the other smart speakers, hook it up to another speaker in order to get that great sound quality. So stay tuned for a full review. Any questions, comments, anything like that, let us know below. And thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers.